Well, hello everyone. I'm glad you made it out. If you look to the side here, you should see a chat room. I just would like you to say if you can hear me and see me. This is the first time that I'm using this type of a setup. Um, so if you could type in and let me know that you're here, that would be that would be really nice. So I'm Dwayne Hartman, and I have something called the Hartman approach that I have been working with for years, and it's a different type of hypnotherapy. It's more focused on the fact that we're already hypnotized and how to bring you, myself, everyone out of that state of hypnosis and back into something called our true nature. And this true nature is is something we were not only born with in the beginning, but yet is an innate state within us that we need to recover and to bring back to the surface. This state is a state of well-being. My concept in this is that if we were already uh, uh, manifesting our reality, then wouldn't it be beneficial to stay in a state that is conducive of that? We need to come back to owning our own sovereign right to our own life. And so I developed different techniques and ways through the use of the idea of hypnosis and the idea of trance states to help people actually dehypnotize themselves and come back to their true nature. And I have been working with people all over the world uh, over Skype. And also, I travel, as most of you know, with the Raw Truth Tour. And I will be starting up here soon, traveling also with Maya. And I'm also traveling with Suska. Now, Suska and I have a little different thing going on where it's going to be music, poetry, and a workshop to combine. Her and I just finished completing a song on her new album, and this is coming out soon. So you all can enjoy hearing me toning and saying things in the song. So it'll be exciting. So if anyone has any questions, please post them in the chat here so that I can answer any of your questions because this is a Q&A. And when you ask a question, I will bring you in and we can talk live as well. So moving on, I started out in this level of understanding the human consciousness ever since I was a child. It was something I was born with. I could see it. And I could help people. And I've been helping people for that long, really. And I also then later on in life got my certification as a clinical hypnotherapist. And in getting my certification as a clinical hypnotherapist, I started a full-time practice. And I've been going in my full-time practice since 1999. And in that time, I have seen amazing things, amazing miracles. As long as I didn't think I was the healer, and I gave that all over to what I call now the God within. Because the God within built you in the first place, and the God within knows how you go together, and it knows how to fix you. And as long as we start building in a relationship with this greater part of ourselves, then we can begin to work in levels of metaphor that assists that aspect of us to understand what we want and also create change in our life. And this is what people have been experiencing and love about the programs, about awakening God consciousness, and this that's been going on in the last while. So as we look at this aspect of shifting, and what I did was shifted this aspect of a subconscious mind, which is word magic for sub, which means below consciousness, which I don't believe this aspect of you is. This aspect of you is above consciousness. It is overseeing your consciousness. And it's not sub at all. It runs things in an automatic fashion, and we can tap into this ability to make things happen on an automatic level using this greater aspect of ourselves. And this is what I do in sessions with people, is I help them to shift into a more freer aspect of themselves, because we are hypnotized into believing that we are lacking in this area of being able to work with ourselves or fix ourselves. We have given our power away over the years, decades. I shouldn't say decades, for hundreds of years. We've given our power away. Who are we to think that we know how to fix ourselves? But truly, who are you not to? It's your body. You're the one that's lived in it for this long. You have the ability to change it and do what you wish with it, and also with your own reality. Our own reality is based on our overall feeling of who we are in life, and we need to be able to have that emotional flexibility to feel something different, which then manifests something different in our life. And so that's the levels in which I work on with people. Not so much the old way, but now working in this new way. Clients come to me and they want to be able to manifest their life differently. They want the magic back in their life, and that's what I help them to do. And that magic doesn't come from me. The magic is coming from that relationship they have with themselves and what they feel inside about themselves and this relationship with this greater part of them, the God within. It becomes very magical. Some of the things that we need to do in working with ourselves is to take our power back. And in taking our power back, we need to allow ourselves to come to a place where we stand in our own sovereignty as a being, a God in its own right, to be able to create its own reality. See, I have this idea. This idea is that the more that we focus on things that we don't want, the more we get them. And if we focus on all the things that are going wrong and how we're being trapped in life and how we're being, if we focus on that alone, that happens more. If you take a look at the very, very fundamental aspects of manifestation, is that what you focus on becomes more. What you focus on, you begin to see more evidence to support that idea. That's how come some of us understand that when we do that, when we only focus on the bad, more shows up. We focus on good, more shows up, because we're still those original creators. We're still those original people or gods that created this in the first place, and we can go back to that again. This is what's missing for people in their lives, is this feeling that they have control of their own reality. We're being teased all the time from television, media, even the internet, to lead us outside of ourselves, when home is within. The kingdom of heaven is within you. This kingdom is your kingdom. You can transform your life. You can change things once you own who you are. I have a video for you that I have brought along today that'll help you to do that. I want you to understand when we have the physical level here, we also have our unphysical level. When you work in the unphysical, when you work in this higher state, in your what is also called your imagination, you see, there's so much that's been done to corrupt how we are. We're trained at a young age not to focus on imagination too much because it's not going to get you anywhere, literally. Well, that's an untruth because imagination is everything. In fact, imagination is the porthole that opens up you to be able to see more, experience more. That's what the imagination is. You can create things in another level and then they lower their vibration into mass. That's how it works. It goes from thought to light and from light into mass. And so when we utilize our emotional state and focus on what that would feel like to be able to be in that experience of having that transform in our life, and we hold that, it lowers itself into physical form. And then you go through the experience of it. But there's a lot they're not telling you about you and about who you are. But first thing first is that we need to be able to reclaim something, our free will. The free will, the first law of the universe is the law of free will. Once source itself came out of the void and it split into two, it looked into itself and it split into two. Now, before that, it was in the void for who knows long. There was no time, there was no space, there was no nothing. There's nothing. But source looked into itself, it split into two, and for the first time, it's seen itself. When we look at a person and we look through their eye into the source that they are, we're reenacting that original recognition. We miss that in our lives. We miss being recognized. But we also recognize that from that point, free will was the first law. Source gave its counterpart, its other part, free will to go and explore and discover what it is, not give it a bunch of rules of what it shouldn't do. It said, go and make of me what you will and bring it back to me so I understand who I am. Free will is the first law. And to reclaim free will, I have developed a video where you use your ability to utilize your imagination and begin to perform things with yourself that you shift your personal reality. You see, you need to go from one feeling of entrapment into one of freedom in order to manifest the freedom. That's the trick. And so when you utilize your imagination to experience levels of freedom, and then they filter down here to experience, the next thing you know, you're living that freedom. And so that's what I help you to do, is more and more freedom. Because the more unhooked you become, the freer you become, the more you enter into your true nature, your true state. So I'm getting some feedback here that people aren't getting in, or people can't. So if you could leave some information in here in the chat. Are you seeing the video I just played? Are you hearing me fine? There should be a chat room right on the side of your viewer here. And if you could let me know, because as of yet, no one's have said anything to me here. And if you have any questions, please put it into the chat here on the side, and then I can find out whether you're actually seeing me and hearing me, and if this doesn't work, I'm going to get a refund. So I'll continue talking, and hopefully this goes well. So free will, that video was about reclaiming your free will. This is the first step that we want to take in coming into our own. And we need to do that at this time. There's a great amount of energy, and you could probably feel it inside of you, this great energy that's rising up in us and all over, that we're moving into a more powerful time. We're seeing things fall, and humanity is beginning to rise back up. And this is a good thing. I mean, and most of us are here to help that happen. Probably if you're listening to this webinar, you're here because you know that is what you're here to do as well. And this is what we find on the tour, is that the people that come are the people that were told not to utilize their imagination, that there was a narrow path for you to go down, and you stick to that path and don't get outside that path. Everyone has taken this greater aspect of them and shoved it into a box and became something else. There's a video I did on removing the critic, and it talks about how we have this societal hypnosis here, the societal idea of ourselves, and then we have this greater God consciousness here. And the critic sits right in the middle. And when the critic sits in the middle, anytime that the awareness tries to cross over to this other side, it bats it back with a bunch of comments or whatnot to keep us off that journey of going into our own God consciousness. And this is what we're here to do, is to let go of this critic and move into this state of consciousness now. This is what the ancients were like, you know. The ancients were one with that energy, and we need to return to it. We've kind of went off on the beaten path with it. But yeah, I'm just going to take a quick look here and see why this chat isn't functioning. Maybe it's something I didn't turn on here, or just give me a minute. Okay, well, I don't know. Like I say, I'll be having more of these. I usually do Monday night intros, and I just use this method. I thought we could chat in here, and I could run videos through here and do other things for you as well for this Monday night. But the important part is the live questions. So if I don't get them, then of course that doesn't look good, does it? Because I can't answer your questions. So I'll continue a little more here. So in owning our own power again and stepping back into our own sense of self as a goddess that we are, and being able to change and transform things, you know, this is change and transform things. Is what I mean by that is change and transform our own life, that it is our life after all. and we have the right to change things in our own life. When we come back into our own sovereign power this way, then we can utilize our awareness and our focus in a good way. We can start to focus on more of what we want and more of what we'd like to see in the world, and less on what they're trying to coax us out of our, they like to coax us out of that you're powerless, you're weak, we're stronger. These things are happening a lot of times, even with the aspects of conspiracy theories. We have to be careful, because as soon as we start getting rattled and outside and think that they're controlling us and getting mad about that, we're playing into their hands, and we don't even realize it, because we're not on our own center and saying, you know what, no matter what you say, this is what I create. Okay. And once we come back into that power, then what we can do as a humanity is move beyond what's being done. Right? We move beyond all of it. So this is what I help people to do. I help them to move beyond the limitations that we've been served up and back into the power of who you are. Your ability to heal yourself. I mean, I have no idea, how much you could heal yourself. I don't, but it's surprising what happens when you allow this aspect of you to do that. When you allow this aspect of the God within you to start healing you, and it will. And it will, to the degree in which you allow yourself to believe it can. It's like a mirror this way. And this mirror is ourselves. It's how deeply do we believe in who we are? How magical are we? The interesting thing about magic is that magic happens in a minute, in a second. It doesn't take a long time. And when you want to work with this as a therapy, therapy doesn't take a long time when the situation that we have is based on basically past experiences that are interfering with your present moment vibration. And interference in the present moment vibration, of course, is going to interfere with your future manifestations. And then that adopts whatever you're feeling in the present moment. So the key is to really be able to adjust what you do in the present moment as far as what you feel. And what you feel in the present moment is what's manifesting your future. So if you have a lot of stuff that's causing you troubles from the past, old things that happened, ways people have treated you, whatever, it's important to be able to clear that up so your present moment vibration is in harmony with who you are, and who you are as to what you want to become, right? So shifting this vibration is very, very important, so that you have a truer vibration here in the present moment. And then here in the present moment, with the true vibration that you want, the freedom, you're creating that as experiences coming towards you in the future. And so you sit on this really magical place in between past and future. When you change the past so much, you can raise to basically a different timeline where none of that existed. None of that existed in the sense that it hauls you back into it, right? So you stay here in this present moment that's harmonious with you, raising your vibration and then manifesting more experiences that are conducive of this vibration. But it always, always, always comes from this present moment vibration and what you're doing in this present moment vibration. And so I have another video for you on that present moment vibration. I'm just trying to find it here for you. There it is. So I'll load it up. Hopefully you're seeing these videos. And like I say, this is just a test tonight to see, and we'll make adjustments. So I am going to, I see we have 16 viewers here, and I don't know how they're viewing me, but I just checked on Facebook and everybody's having problems getting into this. And now it might have been something I did uh, as far as making changes after the fact and whatever. I don't know what went on, but that's how come the chat isn't working, probably because people can't get in. Yeah, I've got lots of people here saying they can't get into this webinar. So I'll have to find out what I did in order to correct it and see. But that's probably why you can't use this chat either. I don't know. I don't know if I can go back to the Google chat on the side. Doesn't look like it. So I will tend to that next week. So who are we is the most important thing. Who are we now? Who are we? Are we allowing ourselves to be led? You know, are we standing in our own truth? This is the key points we want to take a look at to empower ourselves again as the beings that we are. And as we empower who we are, we become freer and freer. Now, in that freedom that we become, we realize that there's nothing powerful enough to stop us from becoming all that we are. In fact, that's against the law of free will to do that. Working off these premises, we can begin to stand in our own sovereign nature. Now, how does this fix things? People sometimes ask me that question. How does this fix things? Well, this fixes things when we realize that this is more about energy than it's about physicality. It's more about your emotions than it is about what we see. You can shift your emotional states inside of you and experience higher levels of freedom. When you learn to have emotional flexibility, it doesn't matter what you see out here. You change the emotion of the response here, and that will change or split apart, just like the great sea there, and you'll walk through that, and it won't stop you from becoming who you are, because nothing has the right to stop you. Nothing. They can only sell you on ideas, sell you on these ideas that there is less than, or that you're not all powerful when you are. And I'm not talking about a controlling power where you're controlling other people. No, control your own reality, period. And you control self, and you control what's happening within your own vibration. When you control your own vibration, you're going to have control over your manifestations that are coming to you. You're going to have control of what's happening to you in the present moment. You can be eternally free. You see, when we start working with this God, goddess within, we begin to realize that there is much more. That not only much more in the sense that, but this goddess and God within is really eternal. It's never been born. It will never die. It'll never grow old. And it is that that's looking through your eyes and seeing me here. It is that I look through my eyes to see you. It is this greater aspect of ourselves. And the more that we live from this greater aspect of ourselves, we are eternal. Now, what happens when you connect and tap into the fact that you're eternal? What happens when you understand that there's nothing that can stop you because you're eternal? Well, then you cross a threshold here, and you start moving into this power of being able to move beyond any difficulty in your life. Move into the freedom beyond fear. What can scare you when you're eternal? You're not afraid of death. Death is the biggest fear a human being has. Now, what if you take your consciousness beyond that and you become this eternal aspect that's looking through your eyes? To see the world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wildflower, to hold eternity in the palm of your hand and infinity in an hour, you were led to believe a lie. When you see with and not through the eye that was born in a night to perish in a night, while the spirit slept in beams of light. Now, why is that spirit sleeping in beams of light? Because we don't recognize it anymore. We don't bring it forward. We don't look at somebody and say hello to that deeper part of them. When we do that, there's something interesting that begins to happen with people. They begin to come alive from that aspect of themselves. They begin to wake up. There's a tribe in Africa that says they don't say hello when they greet. They say, I see you. And when they say that, the other one says, thank you, because when you see me, you bring me to life. We need to bring people to life. What I do is I help people come to life. It's magic, pure magic, and it all comes from the person I'm working with. Somebody made me a video yesterday. I was just shocked. All of a sudden, there was this post in my Facebook, and there's this video, and it's a video of me. He did it up. And in the video, there was one thing that really struck me. Lots of things struck me about it. But one thing that really struck me was that he posted that I was on a quest to find God consciousness. And that's true. That was my whole, ever since I was a boy. In fact, my father even said to me, you're not going to stop, are you, until you talk directly with Source? And I said, no. It was a mission of mine. It was also a mission of mine to find this source, the true source. And I found it. And it wasn't anywhere else. It wasn't on a mountain. It wasn't in the ocean. It wasn't over here or over there. I found it looking through another one's eyes. Right within you is that source energy. And so I have been on a quest to find source in each and every one. And I do a pretty good job of it. They call me the source whisperer sometimes because I bring that out in people. Because I believe that this source energy is each and every one of us, and no one is excluded, and no one has to do fancy things in order to have it happen. That it's naturally within all of us, and when we allow it to come forward, things change. Now, I had all kinds of neat things here in this chat room to send you, but I'll tell you what, if you email me or talk to me on Facebook, Dwayne Hartman on Facebook, and you message me, I'll give you a special coupon for 10% off anything on my site for coming to this webinar. I know that there's many more people that wanted to come, and they're all messaging me on Facebook, but something went awry there. So you can contact me there, or you can go to innerbalancehypnotherapy.com, and you can send me a note off the site there as well. Contact me. And if you're interested, I like I say, I'm offering a 10% discount this time for anybody that shows up to the webinars as a gift and gratitude from me to you for coming and listening. And I'm going to close this one off for today and figure out what went awry. And before I close it off, I'd like to do another video for you in closing. Some of you may recognize these frequencies. I also, like I say, do toning, and I've been toning with a special kind of tone. Hopefully you hear this video, and after the video I'll stop broadcasting, so take Okay, so yeah, I'm getting contacted by a lot of people that it's not functioning properly. So I'll do my best to get everything running smoothly and test it out and everything else for next week. If I do have time this week, I may run another one of these just to get it going for you guys that were kind enough to show up this week. So just remember, if you go to my website, innerbalancehypnotherapy.com, and you can find me on Facebook, just Dwayne Hartman, DWAINE, Hartman. You can find me there, and you can message me there. Either place. So till our next one, be well, and thank you for showing up. Blessings.